So now everyone understood, right? Discover means it is the standard integration content or integration flows given by SAP for us to use, standard. Okay. You cannot modify those. You just need to reuse. Okay. So next, design means this is the customization, or this is the place where you design your own iFlow, Okay. So how do design? So we'll just cover few steps. Okay. So for designing an iFlow, first you need to create a package. So create a package. So just I have created a package. See, while creating package, I have to give a name. Okay. So when I give name, automatically it will take the technical name. So the name, always remember guys, it has to be some meaningful name always. So each project will have their own way of giving names to the artifacts. So package or integration flow, whatever. So you just have to follow the naming standards of your project. Okay. If you are in a project and you are asked to develop an iFlow, okay. So and you are asked to create some new package and develop iFlow there, then you can cross question them saying, so are we following any naming standards, or should I just go with a meaningful name? Okay. If project is already has a document which contains the naming standards, so you have to give the name like this only. Okay. Then you also have to follow the same naming standards. Okay. Usually the package name we have already seen in the discover, package name will be integration of what kind of data you are integrating from which application to which application. Example, integration of, right, user data integration from employee central to SAP Concur, or replication of invoice status. Replication means what? What do you mean by replication?
Editing.
Replication. Replication means you have an application 1, you have an application 2. From application 1, the same data should be transferred to application 2. Okay. So whatever the application 1 has, same data should be available in application 2 as well. That's why we will replicate the data from application 1 to application 2. So just now we discussed now replication of invoice status from S/4HANA to SAP Field Glass. Similarly, replication of master data from S/4HANA to some application. Okay, like that. So if it is a replication, we use replication. If it is an integration, we use integration. Likewise, so based on the document, design document you receive, right? Based on that, you can choose a meaningful name and then click on save. Now go to artifacts. Click on artifacts. So here you have to add. See, these many type of artifacts we can add. So mainly the main things are here: integration flow, value mapping, script collection, message mapping. These are the main things. Okay, most people will work. Integration flow is everyone has to create an integration flow. So these are based on the requirement. If we have to do value mapping, so we will come to know in the course what is value mapping, what is script collection, what is message mapping. Okay, wherever it is required, we may go and create these things, rest of the things. But iFlow will be there for integration. iFlow is the main thing. Okay. So click on iFlow. So here you have two options, see, create and upload. Upload means you have an existing thing. We'll come to this, what is upload. As of now, we create. Okay. So CPI, SAP CI to okay. SAP CI to Gmail, order information or order confirmation. What does it mean? So it means that this iFlow is used to send an order confirmation from SAP CI to a Gmail. Okay. So by looking at the name, okay, so from this application, we are sending order confirmations to a mail IDs. We'll come to know. Like that, some meaningful name should be given for each artifact. Okay. So for this one, we call artifacts, guys. All these are we call as artifacts. All these are artifacts. We call them as artifacts or objects. Artifacts or objects. Official name in CPI, we use artifact. Integration flow, artifact. SOAP API, artifact. Value mapping, artifact. Script collection, artifact. Okay. So this is the name. So now as soon as I created, it is created an iFlow like this. There is a version 1.00. So if you click, so it will open like this. See, there will be a sender, there will be a receiver. This represents the logic in CPI. This box represents the logic we are going to implement in CPI between start and end. So if you click on edit, there are see options, see exception process, integration process, local integration process, sender, receiver, and events, and mappings, and transformation, content modifier, converter, everything, right? So, and then external call, and then these things, and then these things, and then these things. So these are all we have to learn each option. Okay. Script also one of the options. There is a script right here. This is also one of the option. Okay. So only most of the cases I select this and I put it here. Drag and drop. I select this, I put it here. Okay. Like this, I do this connection. As soon as I select connection, I get a pop-up like this adapter type. So this adapter is used for connectivity. Okay. So we can select the respective protocol here. Okay. What is protocol we discuss? Okay. Similar. Anything we select. So based on the requirement, how sender application is going to send data to CPI, how CPI is going to send data to receiver. It is all the agreement between two applications, guys. It is all the agreement between two applications. Okay, my application supports this protocol. My application supports this protocol. Based on that, whichever is supported by both applications, whichever the authentication mechanism, so they both talk each other. If it is a standard protocol, it is fine. So standard protocol means what are the different standard protocols available for data transfer is. So what are the standard protocols for data transfer, right? So HTTP is a standard protocol. FTP is a standard protocol. SFTP is a standard protocol. Okay. SOAP is a standard. REST, OData is a standard. REST is not there. REST means it is HTTP only. In CPI, HTTP or HTTPS. Okay. OData. Okay. So what else? Mail. Okay.
JMS.
Yeah, JMS. These are all standard. JMS. Each has its own significance. AS2, okay, JDBC, JDBC, okay. These are all standard protocols, okay. JDBC is not a standard protocol. AS2 is also not standard protocol. JMS also. I am talking about the protocol, okay. Protocol is different, and these are adapter. JDBC is an adapter. JDBC is an adapter. AS2 is an adapter. The underlying protocol would be HTTP for AS2. So suppose here, if I delete this, suppose if I select AS2, so AS2 message protocol, see, transport protocol is HTTPS. Okay. So the core protocol I am talking about, core protocol, I am not talking about the adapters. Okay. So similarly, we have, suppose if I select JMS, it is, I think, JMS only. JMS only. So this is an adapter. So normally I'm talking about the protocols. Protocol SOAP is a protocol, HTTP protocol, file, and OData. So for mail and protocol would be SMTP and those things. Okay. So for standard protocols, we have the respective adapters. Directly for HTTP protocol, we have HTTP adapter, file, FTP file for FTP, SOAP. SOAP also, the underlying protocol would be HTTP, so OData. Likewise, there are some protocols, and based on the standard protocols, we have multiple adapters built. Okay, so multiple adapters. So we need to select that adapter, or we can say the connection type. The connection type. Okay, so we can use. So we can use the word like OData connection. Shall we go for OData connection? Means while you are in discussion with the sender application. So if it is HTTP or SOAP or FTP or SFTP, we have already those adapter types or connections available on CPI. So we can simply say, okay. So you can, so that is a situation where we need to in call with them, and they will say, okay, we will send data in this using this connection. Is that possible? Then we can say, okay, these are all the different connections available on our CPI. You can use any one of them by using any of that protocol. Okay. So that is it. So we will go through all these options, and all these adapters, right? All these adapters, we may explain the theory of adapters, and few adapters like FTP, HTTPS, IDOC, JMS, all these things we'll discuss in detail, very detail, by end to end, right? JMS, mail, OData, process direct, SFTP. These adapters, to do end-to-end scenarios, these adapters, it is possible. But whereas suppose if I have to use success factors, we will not be able to show the end-to-end scenario for, I mean, design that scenario for success factors, but we will explain how to use success factors. Yeah. Likewise, we'll cover all this in this course. Okay. So next, what is this monitor? What is this monitor? So monitor, what is the meaning of monitor? So before going that, I am clicking on save. Okay. So, and then I am canceling it. So now go to monitor. What is monitor? Monitor means
checking.
checking. Yeah, checking. Right? We check. What do we check? What do we check? So here,
Any failure.
yeah, right. We discussed example, integration of employee data from employee central or workday to Concur. That means as soon as an employee joins a company, okay, this process should trigger automatically. So from workday or employee central, data should come to CPI. From CPI, it should go to Concur, and it should update the user details in Concur. Right. So suppose I am a newly joined employee in ABC company, so and so company. Okay. So I joined the company, but I am not able to access Concur. Okay, I was told you have access to Concur, you can book your expenses on your Concur. So I am not getting access. I try to log in, I am not able to book the expense. So what should I do? So what should I do?
So,
See here, me as an employee of company, I am the affected user of this business process. What I will do, I am not able to log into Concur. So I will raise a query with Concur help desk. There will be help desk, right, for every application. So even for everything, your mobile or even your SIM or even your internet, for everything, even your TV, home appliance, fridge, fan, everything, there is a customer care, right? If we get any issue with that, we reach out to that customer care. Similarly, for every application, there will be a support team. So I will raise my query to Concur support team. So now Concur support team will check. Whether this user data is available in system. It is not available. Then what happens? This Concur support team will reach out to employee central support team. Boss, this particular employee joined in the company. Have you sent those details to me? Then employee central team will check. So the employee data is sent out or not. Okay. If it is sent out, then here this guy sent the data out. This guy has not received the data. Then where is the connection? Where is the other place to check in between? This person. So they will reach out to CPI system, the team working on CPI. Again, here also there will be a support team. Okay. So they will reach out to that team. Boss, I have sent data, so and so date. Is it received? It is not received by Concur. What happened in CPI? So now to check the messages or transactions, whatever you call it, sent from one system to other system, we use this monitor. Okay. See here, monitor message processing. So it contains all artifacts past our messages. All messages it will display here. All failed messages in the past hour will be displayed here. Means there will be a number 10, 20, 30 like that. All artifacts, retry messages and completed messages will display here. So we have only past hour. So how can we check for one day? So just open it. So change, you can filter out whatever you like. Okay. You can filter out whatever you like. You can filter by status. You can filter by integration flow name. So you come here, and for this particular integration, there will be iFlow name, right? There will be an iFlow name. So that iFlow name, I will give it here. And they will say some date. Boss, I have sent the data on this particular day. So you select that particular day and put check anything is failed. So for that particular day, if anything is failed, you can ask them, okay, this is failed for so and so information, so and so things. Okay. So, and then you have to, or they have to take a collective action like, okay, this is failed because of some data issue. They have sent incorrect data or whatever. There are variety of reasons we'll discuss going forward. So then they will have to take the necessary action to integrate that missing employee information in Concur. So once they solve that issue, then I will be able to book my expense. Got it? How the things are in the front end, how the things in the front end related to back end process, right? I am a front end user who is affected by something happened here. Okay. Similarly, one more case I will discuss. Suppose here it is a Concur or Workday, whatever. So in this particular case, it may not be that much priority, right? So I am the only one user affected. My data is not received. Maybe it will be 2-3 days delay. 2-3 days delay may happen for me to book an expense so that that money will be credited into my account. Okay. So priority wise, it may not that important, right? So it depends again on the amount. Okay, it depends on the amount and the number of users impacted. If I am the only one user, it is treated as less priority. Suppose assume this interface is completely stopped working. This interface is completely stopped working. Means the data employee information sent from employee central is not at all receiving Concur. Not at all receiving in Concur. That means it is a global issue. So all users on Concur will not be able to book expense. Right? So if all users are not able to book an expense, this is a very high priority, right? See the difference between two cases. This is a high priority. This is complete. The integration is completely broken. It is not working anymore. Okay. If any integration is completely broken, that is very severe case. Okay. Assume it is this case, or assume it is a payment processing. Assume it is payment processing. So payment processing, what it is in real time, how it looks like. Okay. So let's discuss this particular case. Okay. So S/4HANA represents our industry. Okay. So if we take our industry as a bike manufacturing or automobile industry, assume this particular vendor is an MRF. Okay. We usually procure tires from this particular vendor. Okay. So see, this is a registered vendor with our business. So it is not that all of a sudden on one particular day, I will call MRF, hey MRF, send me some 20,000 tires. No, not like that. So you are doing a business means you have registered vendors already. That means you on the front end, you go to that vendor and you come up with a contract. So from this duration to this duration, okay, so you will be supplying a tires. So there will be rules on that contract. What would be the rules? There will be legal terms also. Rules means, so I will put an order. You will send the tires. And then you will issue an invoice. I will pay. Right? So in this process, so once I put order and you confirm a delivery date, and if you fail to deliver the tires by that date, my business will be impacted. Am I correct or not? So if my business impacted, it is a loss to my company. Who is the culprit here? Vendor. He did not supply the tires on the agreed date. So as per the contract terms, there will be some fines should be levied on vendor. Case number 2. So vendor has supplied the tires on time and they issued an invoice. So as per the contract, once invoice is issued, within 10 days, we have to pay the payment. So if we delay the payment, again, there will be a fine levied by the vendor to our company. So in this scenario, now assume S/4HANA has issued a payment against the invoice received from vendor. Okay. So these are all automated processes, guys. I have only shown one arrow here. There could be multiple interfaces for each flow. Means for placing an order, one iFlow or one integration will be there. Okay. Again, For delivery order confirmation, again for delivery, again for issuing an invoice, one more flow. Okay, for payment processing, one more flow. These are all interlinked. Okay, so now S/4HANA issued a payment. Payment has not received by vendor. Okay, vendor. So the deadline is 10 days or 1 day or 2 days, we don't know. Okay, so if payments, one particular payment is not received by vendor, so these things happen, right? When if complete interface is broken, everyone will be alert. Everyone will be alert because everyone knows that this is not working, so they will take immediate actions. Some cases what happens, all payments will process, only one particular payment because of some issue it will fail. Assume in CPI it failed, may not be in CPI, anywhere it will fail. Okay, so then people will not people will, unless somebody go and check, people will not know easily. Okay, because interface is working as expected. In that case, what happens, all of a sudden one particular day business comes to know we haven't received the payment. Okay, these people will start checking, or these people will start checking, these people have not received the payment. All of a sudden they put so much pressure. Okay, I have to pay fine, I have to pay fine, kindly check where what happened. Okay, payment related, anything related to payments and invoices which is treated as very high priority, guys. Payment processing, invoice processing, payroll processing, all these are directly dealt with money, right? Directly dealt with money. So anything we are dealing with money, that interface should be treated as very high priority always. Okay, so that kind of things we do in this monitoring. So every day as a support team, we need to check any messages are failing. If anything is failed, why it has failed, which interface is that, which team is responsible for that interface. Just drop a notification saying this particular interface failed on this date with so and so error details. So if we do that, if we send out that notification, our job is done. Tomorrow nobody come to you and question something failed in your system, you are responsible. Boss, something is failed in my system, I reported also. Okay, my job is done. I reported with the root cause, why it has failed, what is the corrective action, what action you have to take to correct that message, all those things. Okay, so likewise we check the message processing here, especially failed messages. Some people, sometimes what happens, no, sometimes what happens, in CPI it is successfully processed, but it may not be visible in their application because they forgot to check. That cases also they will come to you, but we may find it in the completed processing state. That means we can confirm that that message, that payroll processing message is processed to you. This is the proof. Then you are out of picture. This is processed from your application, you are out of the picture. So they will check further. Or some cases what happens, it will be processed, but it will incorrectly process. It will be processed to the receiver, but it may process incorrectly because of some logic issue, transformation issue. In those cases, we may need to revisit that particular integration flow, why that happened, why incorrectly processed, all those things we need to analyze. Next, what is managed integration content? Managed integration content means what are all the artifacts we have designed. So I have shown you, right, while creating package, we have multiple artifacts over there: integration flow, value mapping, message mapping, script collection. So once we develop that artifact, save and deploy those artifacts, it will be visible here. So all the artifacts which are successfully deployed will show here. Any artifacts which is errored, okay, because of some configuration, something which will be displayed here. This is the all artifact number, like that. So you can create your custom tile also with your custom status. Okay, suppose here past hour I want all artifacts. Okay, status is cancelled. If I click on OK, it will display a new tile with cancelled status. Already cancelled is there or what? Let me put discarded. Yeah. See discarded messages. Likewise, you can add your custom tile and you can delete also. Okay. So similarly, integration packs. Now manage security. So manage security. This is the place where we create credentials. As I said, to connect to an application, we need an authentication, right? So that kind of credentials, username, password, we create here.
Yeah, path or URL passwords.
No, URL path is different. Username, password.
Okay, only password, right?
Username, passwords we maintain here. So similarly, some certificates we maintain here. What is certificate? We'll come to that later. Some certificates we maintain here. These are the encryption keys, encryption. So data encryption. When we need to encrypt any data, we maintain the respective keys here. Similarly, access quality, JDBC material, user roles, connectivity test. Connectivity test means if we want to connect to any application, they will provide an address, right? So we can check whether we are able to connect to that particular address or not. What is
We
the
are
type of
testing purposes.
JDBC also?
Sorry?
We are using that JDBC also?
Means
That one belongs to the Java, right?
JDBC means Java database connectivity. Okay. That means
we are using
connected
that one
to
only.
to connect to any database. To connect to any database directly, we use this particular adapter. There is JDBC adapter is there. That adapter specific things we maintain here, like drivers. To connect to a database, we need drivers. Okay. That drivers and the data resources we maintain here to connect to JDBC. Okay. So if it is we have different databases, right? MySQL.
Data sources means that is a receiver file, right? Data sources means that
Data
is a
source
receiver
means it
file.
contains these details. See username, password, and what is the URL of the database. What is the database type? Okay. See different database types. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
So whatever the database we are going to connect, we need to install the drivers. Okay. So yeah. So next, these are the data stores. Okay. Data store means temporarily we can store the data. So message queues, number ranges, and the access logs. So if somebody says that I sent data, but we are not able to see in the message monitoring, then you can go to system log files, whether it is available in the log. There will be two types of logs here. I mean, as soon as we start using the application, there will be HTTP log and a trace log. Two types of logs will be available. I will show you what it is and how to check those logs and all. Similarly, message log, design time logs, and message usage, how many messages processed. Okay. So usage, all these things we will check in the message monitor, right? So next, inspect.
This page is very useful, I think, right, Praveen, where we can find all the information related to our messages.
Yeah, correct.
Data.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Because we can directly find it here. If any failure message, if any successful messages or any user details.
Yes.
All we can find it in this page.
All we can find it here. Okay. As soon as we design an iFlow and trigger one message, we'll show you. These numbers will change. Okay. Here one will come, two will come, or here one will come. Okay. These are all right now, everything is 0, right? Only key store contains 7. These are all the certificates given by SAP by default. The certificates given by SAP. Okay.
One small note, we don't find any alert messages. We cannot create any alerts.
Yeah. We can create. So we can create in the integration flow itself. Okay.
Thank you.
So integration flow, there was something called exception subprocess. So exception subprocess, which is used to catch any error. in the integration flow and send out an email or send out a ticket in some ticketing application like ServiceNow, Jira, etc. Right? So we can do that. And separately, there is an alerting service here, alerting service in the BTP. So those are all done by those admin teams. So if you select that alerting service, no, if something goes wrong, it will send out some dummy alert. Dummy alert means that contains the
Notifications.
information which is not useful by the end users. Okay. Suppose one message fails. Suppose in this scenario, message fails in CPI. So we need to notify a common person who is handling this interface or integration. So that common person may not understand the technical terms, right? Suppose one invoice fails. So he should be notified like, so this particular invoice number failed. Okay. If you send out, instead of that, if you send out some message ID, some XYZ, this particular message failed with some 500 internal server error or 400 bad requests, that person may not understand. So the person sitting or who is managing this interface identifies the message by invoice number. So once he receives the invoice number, then he can check that particular invoice is for whom, okay, what the data it has, whether it has any incorrect data, why it is failed. Okay. So that's why the custom alerts means we do it using exception subprocess. We capture some meaningful detail which help the users to identify the reason for failure, like sharing invoice number, like sharing order number, like sharing
Message
right
ID.
document number. Message ID may not be helpful. Message ID will be helpful for the support team like us, whoever is working in CPI.
Okay.
That is the technical
Okay.
attribute of a message. Functional attribute of a message is for invoice message, the invoice number is the functional attribute. Business persons will identify the invoice message by invoice number, not message ID. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. So likewise, so next inspect. So inspect contains just the resources, how the CPI resources, how many connections, what is the data store usage, what is the monitoring store usage. See, everywhere 35 GB is the standard given by SAP. Okay. So this is all an introduction about the home page of our CPI. Okay. In next classes, we are going to discuss create an integration flows. Okay.